high vibrations, beautiful new day. I am Alewashun, aka Pritiana. If you do not know me, in this video, I will be sharing my journey on how I moved abroad with 3 children, all boys, 13, 9, and 7. We are currently in Thailand. So in this video, I felt the need to share my journey. I should have been done this a long time ago, and I said for a long time that I was gonna make this video, and I've been bullshitting. So here we go, and I have a very detailed list of things that I want to discuss, because if I just get to rambling and talking, y'all, I'm gonna be off subject. So I want to be very clean, very classy, and very aligned for the video. So I made notes, okay? So I'll start by sharing with y'all what I do for a living, because a lot of people always want to know that. So I was a master pastry chef for the past 10 years, and then I switched into my spiritual business, okay? So I've always been into tarot cards, so I was doing tarot readings. I've always been a coach, so I've always been a mentor and a guide to others, right? So I am a spiritual life coach and psychologist. My business, Soul Therapeutics, is a virtual temple to help souls all over the world master themselves and maintain and start their spiritual journey. So I'm also an identity shifting coach, and I help people shift their identities, okay? So that's what I do for a living. I do it virtually from my phone. A lot of my clientele and people that I had already been with me. Some of them switched from my baking business to this business, and then a lot of them were already with me before I moved abroad. So I just maintained that business since I've moved, okay? So let's jump right in with the notes, because like I said, I want to, do this correctly and in order. So the first thing that I'm going to discuss is what my life was like before moving abroad. So I feel like I go through spiritual awakenings all the time. Like my first actual awakening, I'm not sure if some of y'all are familiar with that, but it's called a Kundalini awakening, when every single chakra is activated at one time. Sometimes people can go into psychosis and snap out and have a psychotic break when this happens, because sometimes you can become too fucking aware. And I went through that. And the thing that people don't talk about is when you first start your spiritual journey, you first become tapped in, it's like you go through this dark ass time, because you relearning, you unlearning, you're relearning, you're learning the truth and things about the world that's been hidden, that's been secrets. You're learning things about yourself that you never knew. You're learning things about the world that you never knew, things that you were lied to about. It's just a lot. It's a lot with the journey. So right before coming to Thailand, I had got to a point, being back home, because I am from Detroit, Michigan, I had got to a point where I felt like I had surpassed my environment. I felt like I outgrew everything that was around me. I just wasn't aligned with it no more. I felt like there was something better for me, and I just didn't want to be there. I was really ready to go. So it's I dived deep into my astrocartography, which I'm going to go into next. That was how I decided to choose Thailand. I digged super deep into my astrocartography. I am an astrologer, so it's only right that I use my astrocartography to help me navigate this experience. I love astrology. I trust it so much. I've used astrology for years to help me master myself. I would not be who I am today if it was not for astrology. Astrology has helped me learn my highs, my lows, and how to alchemize and transmute all of these different energies within me, right? So I really love astrology. I'm an advocate for that. So I started studying my astrocartography to see what would be the best places for me to live. And Thailand was a highlight on the list. So for an entire year, y'all, I stayed down till I motherfucking came up. I wanted to get more so I wanted to build a better connection with Saturn, okay? Because Saturn is a planet in astrology, and I have it in the 4th house. Wherever Saturn is in your astrology chart, it limits you, and it's going to make you work a little harder, okay? And sometimes when you are limited, you will feel like you're being stripped. And I have it in the 4th house of inner security and home. So when a person has Saturn in the 4th house, they can be an outcast in their own home growing up. They can be an outcast when it comes to their parents. They could just be a person that don't really get along good with family, that don't fit good with family. They always feel alienated. And I wanted to heal that placement, right? So for that whole year, 2024, I locked in. I changed my eating habits. I started taking my herbs every day, and I stayed in the gym the entire year, not even realizing what that was going to do to me subconsciously. And I shifted my identity in 1 year. I knew that I wanted to move out of the country. I had started planning for it subconsciously, and I focused that whole entire year. I focused. I didn't even have the money, but I was already manifesting, saying like, okay, I'm going here next year. This is where I'll be. Everything gonna work out in my favor. I was doing the inner work. I was journaling, meditating. I was very fucking disciplined. I was very disciplined in 2024 because I knew that I wanted to move. Once I looked at my chart and I figured out the places that I wanted to go, the crazy part is Costa Rica was supposed to be the first place that I went to, right? But in the midst of everything, I ended up switching it to Thailand because I just felt so aligned and more connected to Thailand. Just hearing it, just seeing it. I would watch all these different people on social media, their videos, just to see if I can align with the energy. And I'm like, I'm excited to go there. I'm excited to try that out. I never was motivated off other people's videos until I found out that I had favor in Thailand based off my astrocartography. Once my astrocartography told me that I had favor in Thailand, I went down a fucking rabbit hole and I watched all of the different creators, including Space Baby. One of the biggest motivations, I love his content. He was a person that I watched all the time, and I loved the inspiration that he speaks into people. And I was one of the people who always supported when he would pop his shit, because I'm like, I like how he coming. Like, it's very inspirational. People need to hear that. And I know a lot of people get negative, like, oh, we don't want everybody in Thailand. Everybody are followers. Everybody want to go to Thailand. Well, I didn't choose Thailand because of y'all motherfuckers. My astrocartography literally tells me and shows me that Thailand is like my second home. My Jupiter line goes through Thailand. If you know, you know. Okay? My Jupiter and my Saturn conjunct. Them two together makes Thailand a great place for me to plan to live long term based off astrocartography. So that's how I pretty much chose Thailand, and that's what life was like before I got here. That whole entire year, I stayed super focused. I even made like vision boards of each country because I picked 3 different countries. Costa Rica was first, Thailand was second, and Bali was third. Indonesia was third. And I had boards, like if you look on my TikTok, you will see my vision boards and some of my clips and my videos. And I just basically wrote down all of the visa information. I wrote down everything that was needed of me in these countries and all the important facts that I wanted to remember. And that's what I wrote. And I taped it and I had it on my wall in my room. And every day I woke up, I saw these boards. I also still have the screen on my phone, but I created a screensaver on my phone for Thailand. Like, I was so serious. I didn't play no games. I was very serious about manifesting my reality, and I knew that I wanted to come here, so that's what I did. So that's what life was like before I came. I just felt out of place. I didn't feel connected to anybody anymore. My environment felt like poison. I was ready to get out of my house. I just did not want to be in that house no more. I did not even want to go outside. I was like, me going outside would be me getting on a plane and leaving. That's how I felt. I just did not feel at home in my home. I felt like a stranger in my own home, and I just was not happy. I kept having this feeling that there was something more that I wanted to explore. There was something more that I needed to see. There was something more that was out here that I felt I needed to align with. So that's what life was like before I moved, okay? And that's also like the steps that I took to get to that point. That whole entire year, 2024, changed my life. I didn't hang out. I didn't drink. I wasn't having no sex. I wasn't doing nothing. I had a fucking goal in mind. I had a plan. And I was like, I'm not letting nobody get in the way. I know my parents and my daddy and them thought I was playing when I told them, like, this is what I want to do. My daddy didn't even take me serious, and he told me because he was like, you ain't got the money right now, so it's just all talk. And although I was offended, I still put it in the back of my mind, like, you're leaving. I don't give a fuck what your bank account say, how much money it say you have. We not about to be living here. Like, I started setting my mind up to think that way. Like, that's really how serious it was with me. So, another thing is, I just wanted freedom. I wanted freedom. I was sick of the everyday hustle culture that takes place in America. It's all around me. Grind, get to the money, get it back. I never got to rest because I was always grinding. That was one of the reasons why I retired from baking so early, because a lot of people thought I was nuts. I am well known in my city as one of the top bakers, okay? People know me as the cake lady. People know me as that lady. That's how I built my brand. That's how I started off marketing. Like, I learned all of that from being in the baking game. So I just got to a point where I was like, I'm sick of this shit. I hustled, I grind already. I'm ready to go somewhere where I can live slow and I can be around ease and I can relax and I don't have to be uptight about the next time I'm gonna make $1. Like, I was just done with that shit. I do not like how America does not prioritize mental health and how it's always about going to get a bag and grinding, and people literally fuck their bodies up. Some people actually, they don't even make it. You know what I'm saying? Some people, we ain't gonna get deep into that, but some people don't even make it. They just don't even make it. They end up in those circumstances. And I just was tired. I just was over it. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I felt like my kids needed to see something different, and I needed to see something different. So with the astrocartography, Jupiter is a good line to live on. And my Jupiter icy and my Saturn MC goes through Thailand, but it's conjunct. So it's closer to Bangkok, but it still hits and go through Chiang Mai, and then it actually goes through Malaysia, and it goes through a little through I want to say the Philippines. So it's just like how the lines is, it basically goes directly through, and then I got the two where they cross. They like, it's like a point where they cross. So when I found out that I had favor in Thailand, see, the thing about Jupiter is people think that it's only about luck, but Jupiter is actually the guru, the teacher, the spiritual teacher. So when you live on your Jupiter line, you can expect to learn a lot, to expand your mindset, because it's higher knowledge. You get what I'm saying? It's higher knowledge. So it's wisdom, it's truth. All of these things you will learn. Not only will you be the student, you will be the teacher. I love the energy that Jupiter brings. I think when I first got here and I stayed in Bangkok for 2 weeks, I think I had it mixed up in my head what Jupiter was really about. So Jupiter started rolling out the motherfucking lessons. And I was like, yo, Jupiter really come heavy. It's not just about luck. Yes, you will be rewarded. Yes, you will be rewarded somewhere on down the line. But Jupiter really want to teach you. Jupiter want to make sure that you are always growing. And that's what I love. So those are the two lines that I'm on. And Saturn, Jupiter and Saturn together does well because it complements each other. But it has its moments where it can be uncomfortable. And I've definitely had some of those moments since I've been here, and I'll go into that. I'll explain that. And next, what I want to talk about is how I planned my move, okay? So, I sold my home, y'all. I've been a homeowner for, well, I was. Look, I'm still saying I've been a homeowner. Okay, so I owned my home for about 10, 11 years. I became a homeowner at 24 years old, 23 or 24. And I had always been a homeowner, so I don't know anything else but ownership. And I was so done. I was like, I want to sell my home. Now, the story with me selling my home is so interesting because, so my realtor is actually a close friend. Well, my realtor was, I keep saying it like all of this is current. So my realtor was a friend of mine that I consider a sister, right? So I knew right away that I wanted her to be my realtor. And I'm like, I want to sell my house. And at first it was challenging because people kept telling me like, you should rent out your house. You should rent out your house. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to do that because that means that I will have to come back to the U.S. That means that I will have to still have some responsibility with coming to this house. Like, I knew that once I got the fuck on, I was not trying to return. So I made it up in my mind that fuck that. Fuck what anybody had to say. Family, parents, whoever. I wanted to sell it. So that's why I did it through my homegirl, because I'm like, I trust her. And I wanted her to be the person to navigate this experience because I fully trust her. And I knew that I was doing something that was such a big deal, that was so impactful. I wanted her to be a part of that moment as well. So it's crazy because my dad was so upset with me selling my house. We actually were not on good terms during this process before I left. Emotionally, I went through turmoil before I left, y'all. I was fucked up emotionally. I had so many emotions. I felt like I wanted to leave. I gotta leave, but am I neglecting my people? And then it's like, neglecting what people? Because I don't fuck with nobody. Like, it was just all these different emotions. And then my dad, I really expected my dad to be a different way. And I love him, so I ain't got nothing bad to say about my dad. But I will say, I expected him to be a different way. He was totally against it. He gave me a hard time. All we did is argue and go back and forth the entire time. So I put my house on the market, and literally within a week or two, somebody came along and was like they were interested. Now, I thought it was a bad deal at first because these particular people were trying to like give me a hard time. But I'm such a believer. I have such heavy faith. I knew that I didn't want no bullshit. I wanted everything to go the way I wanted it to go. I wanted to make sure that I sold my house before I got on that plane. I did not want to go to another land, another country, and still have to deal with paperwork. I had manifested and spoken into existence that I wanted to have my house sold before I left. And I'm back, y'all. My kids be getting too out of control, so had to cut that part out. So, like I said, I had manifested that I wanted my house to be sold before I left. And everything worked out exactly how I said it would and how I planned it to. There were some challenges that I did go through, but God is so good. I was able to sell my house and be done with the deal and do everything. And literally, y'all, the deal was closed. I sat at the closing table April 15th. And April 16th, I was on a plane to Thailand with my kids. So I went through so much. But now that I'm, doing this video and I'm looking back, I'm like, God was really testing my faith. God was really testing me and seeing, like, do you really want this? Are you willing to put in the work? And not just the logistics, y'all. Not just the physical. The spiritual side. You get what I'm saying? The mental side, the subconscious side, because people get so bent into like what this journey is, but y'all don't realize you have to go through a subconscious shift in order to leave your homeland. Everybody not built to do that. People hate change. People hate being in an environment that they can't relate to and understand. A lot of people can't live abroad. This isn't for everybody. And I was tested. I went through so much. I remember my going away dinner. I had a dinner party for my family. Do y'all know that it took them 4 hours before we were seated? Like, I had so much adversity coming against me up until I left. Another thing that happened, my son's passport, everything just coming back to me. My son's passport was spelled incorrectly. And we were literally leaving 2 days after this. 2 days after. I picked it up and I noticed it. And I was like, damn, I'm leaving 2 days and it's wrong. They was trying to give me a hard time about the appointment, all of this extra shit. They wanted me to come in Monday and I was leaving that Wednesday. So it was so many things that was like coming against me. Like, I just felt like, why is this happening to me? But I do have a deep understanding that There were a lot of like karmic shit that I had to release. I feel like selling my home was a part of that. There were a lot of ties that I had to cut energetically there in order to start a new chapter. This is why I had to sell my home. This is why I had to throw away my wardrobe, throw away all of my shit and start over. And people don't understand. When you learn the art of detachment, God will bless you and open doors. Thank God. Shout out to my ex for teaching me detachment. I learned that when I was in a relationship with him. That's when I learned detachment. He taught me that. I learned that from him. I had already learned detachment years ahead. So when it was time to really detach, y'all, it was so crazy how like I released my car. I ended up getting pulled over by the police. My shit was already fucked up. My car was already out for repo. I just had stopped paying it because I had decided in my head, fuck the American system. I don't care about paying no car note. I don't care about no insurance. I did not care about none of that shit. I was like, when they get the car, they get the car. I was going to keep that car all the way until I left. Until I ended up getting pulled over because the power went out in my house. We had like a bad storm. And I had to go to the gas station to get some gas once I came from my parents' house. And when I went to the gas station, the officer stopped me and was like, "Are you such and such?" And I was like, "I don't know who that is." And he claimed that he stopped me because I lied. But nigga, you asked me, am I such and such? Of course I'm gonna say no if I know what you own. So my car ended up getting repoed, which was cool. Well, no, it didn't get repoed because the repo people didn't take it. I had tickets, okay? I had tickets. And instead of him taking me to jail, they just like took the car. So scratch that. It didn't get repoed. The police just took it. So I was happy. I had felt like some shit was off my motherfucking shoulder. I didn't have to worry no more. And everything else just started trickling down. I started releasing so many things. I started selling shit in my house, getting rid of clothes. I threw everything away, y'all. Started from scratch. Threw everything away. Because this is the thing. Y'all don't realize how impactful it is to release. We hold on and we harbor on to things, right? And we do this a lot. We do this with people. We do this with materials, like everything. Nothing belongs to you. Everything is only an experience. And we get too attached to things. And sometimes when people lose things or when they're stripped of things, they lose their motherfucking mind. The fact that I was able to still maintain my sanity and I had to let go of everything showed me where I was spiritually. All the hard work, everything that I had done, it was for that moment. That shit was paying off. It helped me. It really, truly helped me. And so the next thing that I want to go into is, I started getting super emotional leading up to the day. But I didn't cry. I think that it didn't really hit me at first. When my parents like took me to the airport, I think that I got emotional when I left the house. And it's coming back a little bit. Hold on, it's coming back. Y'all see how my emotions just switched? I'm so in tune with my emotions. As soon as I said that, my eyes. But I think that that's when I got emotional leaving my house because I had built so many memories in that house, like 10, 11 years. And I had to release that house, and I think about that house all the time because I was a little girl that grew into a woman in that house. And when I do ever go back to visit the States, I can't wait to just ride past and just see, you know what I'm saying, the upkeep and who there. Because my kids grew up in that house. And when I left that house, that was like hard for me. And that's still obviously something that makes me emotional, as you can see. But when I was leaving the house, it was like, damn, you know you're not seeing that house no more. And I just cried. I cried because I was like, damn, I'm really leaving my house. And people don't know, like, the journey, man, I'm telling you, I got a video that's still going viral right now on TikTok of me crying the day that I had to go, like the day that I had to go pick up my kids' passports. Because mind you, when my car got taken, I started having to live everywhere. And every time I would get in the lift, I would be telling them, like, I'm moving to Thailand. And they would be like, wow, that's so amazing. I was getting a ton of love and support from strangers, but the people I personally knew was not giving me that same energy. So I feel like that's what made my journey so much harder, because I expected support. And that's one thing you got to know about this journey. If you watching this video just for inspiration, or you just watching it just because, always remember, even if you're not moving abroad, people not going to always support you the way you want them to. Do it anyway. People probably not going to always clap for you when you want them to. Do it anyway. We have to stop looking for support and just living our truth. My expectations was to have that. And that moment showed me, it was such an important moment to me in my life. I had felt like, wow, I'm doing something so amazing that nobody ever did on either sides of my family, my mama or my daddy side. I am a first gen of moving abroad. I'm the first to do it on both sides. So I felt like the energy could have just been better, and it should have been better, but it made me stronger in the end. At that time, I was so emotional and I was so hurt. But now that I'm looking back, y'all, that shit built me up and made me a motherfucking hard body, a beast. Because I'm living in a whole nother country by myself with my 3 kids, and I'm not scared or feeling like I'm missing shit. I'm good. I got God. I'm fine. But it's just a simple fact that that was a time that was very sensitive for me. That was one of the most important times in my life, and I'll never forget the energy that I was given. I'll never forget that. Just like when you pregnant. Women don't forget how men treat them when they pregnant. It was one of them things where it's like, damn, I'm coming into this new chapter of my life. This is the most impactful part of my journey. I just expected more. And it was so much adversity that came against me, but I know that it was just put in place to make me stronger. And now that I look back at everything, I'm just like, damn, you know, you really did that, because you kept saying that you were going to leave and you left. And everything that you said you were going to do, you did. You said that house was going to be sold. My house wasn't even on the market a whole week and a half, 2 weeks. And somebody had jumped and was like they wanted to buy it. Like, I manifested each part of my story. I spoke it into existence. And I was already aligned, so it worked out for me. And this is what I teach in my identity shifting mentorship. Because I teach souls how to shift their identity. And when you shift your identity, you no longer have to manifest. The manifestation is like the beginning. It's more in the beginning, because it's like you saying, I want this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Okay. But then it's like leading up to getting it is more so like alignment. You only get it because you're aligned with the frequency in which it is of what it is that you want. And that's how shit is activated, right? So this is what I teach, and I live it every day, and I lived it. And this is why it's so easy for me to teach it, and this is why I'm so passionate about teaching it, because I feel like there is an identity shift that has to take place in order for anybody to move abroad and leave their homeland and leave their native country. So this was a very emotional time for me, you know, even like, you know, with my kids were excited. They were excited. They kept being like, we just ready to go, da, 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 da. And I remember my daddy like, well, they only saying that because it's you and you they mama. I'm like, no, they really want to leave too. They really want to leave too. Like, they really wanted to leave too. We wanted to get the fuck on. Like, we were all feeling those same emotions. And it was just time to go. So, when we were at the airport, now I'm going to go into our experience leading up to us actually getting there. So in the airport, I think I just looked at everything more like, this is fun, this is new, I'm open-minded, and I still do that shit to this day. I wake up every day and be like, okay, so what are we gonna do today? I'm so excited. Like, I look at every day like it's an adventure, and I think that that's what I love most about this journey, is it really is like an adventure. I don't wake up and do the same shit every day. Every day is filled with something different, a new energy, a new go, a new something, and I love that shit. Like, that low-key, like, stimulates me. It makes me more motivated to even be in this, you know, physical existence. I love thriller movies. So I feel like my life is like a thriller. You never know what you're going to get. You're just going to live. And what you see is what you get. And you get what you get along the way. And you never really truly know what you're going to get. But you just trust the process. And I like that. So that was what that was like leading up to that. Like when I got to the airport, went to the airport, we were in the airport, we ate the food, When we first touched down in Thailand, I was so calm, and it was kind of crazy because my phone just stopped working. But it's like my spirit led me and knew exactly what to do. Like, put the minutes on your phone, exchange your money, call your host, let her know you're here. And it's like everything just worked out perfectly. And the first house we stayed in, Jew, amazing Thai woman. I love her so much. We became good friends. She checks on me all the time. She even gave me a gift. She was the first landlord and owner, obviously, whose house I stayed in. And she is so sweet. She made me and my kids, she made sure me and my kids were comfortable. She took us places. She rode us around the neighborhood when we first got there. She was like, hey, I'll just show you the neighborhood. It was just a lot. Like, I love it. I loved her. She was amazing. So every part of the journey just been like, I feel like Dora Explorer. Just exploring. Just exploring. And it's crazy because I had sown a lot of seeds and set myself up. Now I'm going to go into financial and business. Well, no. Wait. Before I go into financial and business, let me talk about family and legacy. How's living abroad shaping me and my family's identity? I love the fact that I'm teaching my kids to like be free and be culturally diverse. Like, sometimes I make them eat Thai dishes because you're not about to be eating American food and eating regular shit. Like, no. We came to Asia so we can explore Asia. So I love that I'm teaching them a different way of being. We don't do homeschool every day. We don't do homeschool every day. I want them to actually have a childhood where they can actually enjoy their days. I feel like the American culture has taught us, oh, the kids got to be in school every day for 8 hours. They don't need that. Kids learn naturally just from you being their parent. I don't know about nobody else's kids. My kids constantly asking questions. They always coming to me to figure something out or learn something. They are intrigued. But then again, I got 2 JS the moons. So they the researchers. In Vedic astrology, that's a nakshatra. Jayeshta. And Jayeshta moons is what both of my kids are. So they are Scorpio moons. And no, they're Sagittarius moons in Vedic astrology, I'm sorry. And then in Western astrology, they are Virgos. But they are a fire sign. Their moon is ruled by fire. And then it's Sagittarius. Sagittarius love to learn. So they're constantly asking questions anyway. But I did not want to raise them in a systematic way where they had to go to school every day and do this and do that. Like, sometimes I get a little guilt. I feel a little guilt. And I'm like, But I just think that that's the programming from being an American. But typically in the real world and not this world, I'm saying like spirit realm, we can do it however the fuck we want to do it. Our ancestors did it the way they wanted to do it. And I personally feel like I know what's best for my kids. As much as I study and as much of a guru as I am, my kids not going to go without anyway. But I don't raise them the typical way. And I feel like living abroad is definitely shaping us into a more diverse, open-minded family that lives and seek adventure and freedom. I'm teaching them that even at a young age. Life is about freedom. Freedom. Nothing having control over you. So that's where we are with that. And they're adjusting really, really good. So I do think that I want to possibly put them in an international school later on down the line. Not my oldest, because my 13-year-old, I'm thinking about just getting him like his own personal teacher. But the younger two, I am going to put them in international school later on down the line, because as I live in Thailand and I continue to expand and, you know, do business and just do everything, I think that that'll be good for them. Plus, they actually want to meet other kids, so that'll be a really good setting for them. But so far, so good. We do very well together. They got everything that they had at home. They got their toys, they got their paper people, they got the TV. They're adjusting very well, okay? They're adjusting very well. Now we're going to jump into financial and business transformation. So my business literally did a 360 when I moved abroad. I had already sown the seeds and set myself up to win. I've been doing my mentorships. I've been doing readings. I've been doing a lot of these things, okay? Having these digital products, offering these services. It seems like soon as I left, I got more recognition for what it is that I do. And like, I was just able to expand in my business. And that's why I'm trying to bring it here to YouTube. Okay. So we gonna get there. I'm speaking it into existence. I'm speaking into existence that I learned how to be consistent with YouTube. Because I know that YouTube can be an assistance to me financially, and also just a very healthy thing for me to do, to share my journey and to speak my truth, because there are people that want to hear it and that will listen. So I feel like it's a great outlet for me as well to just explore, you know, myself while sharing pieces of myself with y'all as well when we exploring together. So my business definitely grew big time when I got here, and I'm so grateful for that. It had already been growing, but it really grew. And one of the main things it is with business and living abroad, you have to have financial literacy and some type of money management. You either got to have a really good savings, or you got to be able to bring in some type of money to stay afloat. Because even if my business ever got slow, there's still other ways that I have created for myself to make money. And when you live abroad, that's something that y'all got to think about. I'm actually going to be doing a master class the end of this month, where I'm going to be teaching people how to monetize their gifts, okay? Because there's no fucking way that your ass should be scrolling on social media and you ain't getting a bag off scrolling. That's all you do. That's all. You just be on your timeline like this and you ain't making no money, and you just be online scrolling. That's a no-no. So I'm going to teach people how to monetize their gifts and how to make money. Not just moving abroad, just in general, but this is definitely for those who want to move abroad and who does live abroad, because you have to be able to, I be talking too fast. You got to be able to sustain yourself financially, because you can't work in these people country. You got to have your own bag, and it got to be a virtual bag from where you from. Rather that's remote work, freelancing, entrepreneurship, you got to have a bag. Okay, some type of something. Even if you come over with a savings, eventually you have to come to terms with the fact that you need to create something where you can make some kind of income, where you can have some type of money coming in from that thing. Okay, so creating multiple streams of income is something that I really realized I had to jump on top of when I moved abroad. So I have a lot of different things that I got going on, okay? I got my Moving Abroad 222 platform. I am the founder and the creator of that platform. If y'all are not following us, go follow us. We are on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I've been building from the ground up. I'm building that platform from the ground up. We are an international resource hub that shares inspiring stories and information to help you move abroad. I also offer astrocartography for my clients. I also offer one-on-ones, calls if you have any questions. I also created a moving abroad prep guide that's super affordable. It's only $2.02. Okay, go get it. That's cheap as hell. And I did that purposely because I know y'all need it. A lot of y'all really want to move abroad, and y'all just need some tips. Go cop the guide. It's super affordable. I'm in the midst of writing an ebook right now that teaches you how to prepare yourself subconsciously for everything that entails your moving abroad journey. So I got a lot of different things going on top of that. I got some other shit going. Like, I have a lot of things going. I have 2 ebooks. So I have an astrology ebook, and then I have a keto blueprint, which teaches you how to lose and maintain your weight based on a low carb diet. So I do a lot of things, y'all. I do a lot of things. But I wanted to make sure I included the financial part of this on this video, because a lot of people ask these questions. They want to know, what are you doing to make money? How are you sustaining? How can I make money? How can I do it too? What options do I have? And I've literally shared that with y'all. Now, in my masterclass, I'm going to go into detail of these things, and I'm going to show you how to use these different avenues to get the money that you so deserve. And the money not hard to get. You just have to build yourself up and have an audience of people that's watching you and want to purchase what you have to offer. So what do? You monetize your gifts. You monetize your life. You start sharing videos, tell people about you. If you live abroad, you interesting off bat. Like, people want to know about you. I don't give a fuck where you living at. If you live abroad, people are interested. They want to know more. So you can even monetize off that. You then become the bag. You the bag. You make the money. Okay? So you the bag. So it ain't about nothing else no more. It's about monetizing your gifts and being able to use your talents and things that you're good at, plus the information that you know, to make money. And it's easy. It can be done. Anybody can do it. So I'm going to move right along because the video is at 23 minutes. So I made myself some lessons to talk about. What have I learned from this move? What I've learned from this move is that I keep jamming my words and shit. That's why I got to do these videos more. And I'm not bleeping it out. This is just going to be a raw, real video. What I learned from this move is that you got to stay down till you come up. And I know I say that a lot. But what that means is you have to stay in a place of building until you ready to pivot. And when it's time to pivot, bitch, you better shoot for the stars. That's what I mean when I say stay down till you come up. And also, you have to be open-minded. I learned that you have to be open-minded, because if you are in a fixed mindset, everything gonna break you. Everything gonna affect you. You're gonna be affected by everything. You're gonna be sensitive to everything. You have to be open to change, and you have to be willing to grow. It ain't your program no more, and you not bigger than the program. You have to learn how to coexist in places and spaces that you're not familiar with, that you're unfamiliar with, and you got to be okay with that. You have to be a chameleon. You have to be able to adapt to environments that you are not used to. And if you can be a fucking chameleon and adapt to foreign environments, baby, you the GOAT, because everybody can't do that. Okay? So that's what I learned. The next thing is, okay, I'm pretty much done with that list. That's good, because I could be wrapping this up because we are at 25 minutes. The next thing that I want to say is I have had many culture shocks since I've been here. When I first came here, I was not sure that I wanted to stay here. I have had many thoughts of going back home. And this is me being raw. This is me being real. Because a lot of people be on this bitch capping. I would never lie to y'all. I have had thoughts of me going back. But when I think about going back, I'm like, what are you going back to? And then I instantly be like, shut the fuck up, sit back and chill. Like, you're living the life. Like, fuck is the problem? Also, I have had culture shocks. In the second house I stayed in, they did have roaches. She did have roaches. And she had, and her house was infested with roaches. So that was one of my experiences I had that kind of fucked me up and made me super, 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 super paranoid and scared of bugs. And I don't like the big ass roaches that fly. I got a problem with that. I don't give a fuck if that's part of nature. I don't like that shit. It fucked with me It fucked with me psychologically. That's what I meant to say. It fucked with me psychologically. And that was a deal breaker. So I ended up moving out of the house, and that's how I got to where I am. Every house that I stayed in, I negotiated the price with the owners. I did something that my homegirl taught me and told me about, and I never stopped doing it. Every place I ever stayed in, the price was negotiated. So I, not only do I know the things that I know, I've learned how to do things since I've been here. So now I'm going to be applying for my visa soon. At the end of this month, we are leaving. We're going to be going to Vietnam while we're applying for the visa. I am gonna go to school here for a year. So I'm gonna be sharing more about my journey with y'all because I can't speak a little Thai. Sawadika, Kapkunka, Yendika, Elroy Mat, what else do I know? Sabadi Mai, I know a lot of different shit. I was with my realtor the other day, and the lady was saying something to her, and I was like, oh, she's saying that she was like, how you know that? And I'm like, I'm starting to pick up, like, before any of this shit, I spoke telepathically. I still can't speak telepathically. I read energy. So even if I don't know the language, it's very easy for me to understand some of the things that Thai people say, or some of the things that Asian people say in general, because I understand the psychology of the human body, and I understand body language, and I understand energy. So I know how these things work. I know how they formulate together. I know how brains are wired. I know all of that. So sometimes it's not really hard to understand what they're saying. One of the things that I don't like about, you know, some of my experience that I would say is I get stared at a lot. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I just feel like sometimes it can be irritating because they don't hide. They gonna stare at you right in your fucking face. And when you're being stared at, you don't really know if it's like a good stare or a bad stare. So sometimes it can be uncomfortable. But I've been teaching my kids that it's okay. You know, you have to understand that a lot of Asian people, they never seen melanated people, especially one with tats, long nails, tattoos, all on the neck. Like, I got a tattoo on my face, locks. Like, some of them, they never seen us nowhere but the fucking TV. So they're gonna look at you like that sometimes. And I had to learn that it's not a bad thing. Another thing that I don't like, and that's why I'm going to school, sometimes it can be very bad language barriers. For an example, I went and bought me a laptop the other day. And the store I went in, the guy I bought the laptop from, y'all, he didn't even speak my language. He didn't even speak English at all. He spoke Thai. Imagine doing business with somebody and you don't speak their language. Translator be fucking up and shit. Sometimes they be looking at the translator like they don't even understand what they don't even understand what the translator say. So I'd be confused because I'm like, did I type this shit right, or do this bitch just broke? Like, is this motherfucker on? Like, what's up? Cause I don't get it. Anywho, I'm trying to think, is there like one more thing that I don't really like? Cause I like to be transparent and real. Okay, so I named my first two things, and the third thing, I don't really think I have a third thing. What I can't really say, I love fucking Thailand. And I was not sure that I loved Thailand when I first came here. Okay, I'm at 30 minutes. I'm about to wrap it up. I love Thailand. I love Thailand because one thing that I can say, we're going to talk about the pros. I love how spiritually connected these people are to their deities, to their gods, to their worshiping, their spirituality. They are serious about that shit. There is a altar everywhere you go, at every business, on every corner, at every street line. There are altars. They don't play about their spirituality. I love the way they love their God. They go hard when it comes to their God. Spirituality is something very serious and very important here, and I love that because I am a very spiritual person. So I love when I greet them and I'm like, Sawadika. I love the prayer hands. Anybody that know me know I love the prayer hands. So there are a lot of things that I really love. I think that this is a great place for single mothers to come. So moms, if you watching this video, this one for you. Get your ass to a country that's friendly towards single mothers. I feel safe. I don't feel threatened. Now, I still watch my surroundings because I am from Detroit, okay? And I've been in the streets. I have my fair share. I know what it's like to be outside. I jumped off the porch young. I get it. So I do naturally watch sometimes because that's just what I do. Look at where I'm from. I'm not about to play with nobody. Nobody's gonna get down on me, okay? And I don't ever feel like anybody is. I feel very safe everywhere I go. We can walk to 7-Eleven at night. I feel very, very safe. I feel like I made a very good decision when it came to Thailand. And I am so excited to see how my journey turns out. I am thinking about starting a business here in Thailand. For anybody that's watching, I was a master pastry chef for 10 years, so it's just a thought. It's just a thought. We gonna see. But I'm thinking about probably bringing Prissy Pastries. It'll be a different name, though. I'll be making a different name. But I'm thinking about bringing Prissy Pastries to Chiang Mai, okay? Just so people can experience sweet treats from my neck of the woods. So I'm thinking about doing that. But my biggest key thing is learning the language. I feel like if you ever gonna go to a country, you need to know their damn language. Ain't no way you up in these people country and you can't speak their language. To me, that gives me a hard time. So I am making it my business to not do nothing else, get my education visa, focus on getting my language certification and learning the language. Once I learn the language, then I can truly decide what I want to do next. So I was supposed to have made this video. I had to make notes to make sure I was like organized, or I would have been talking all over the place. I wanted to make sure that there were certain things that I did speak about, and those are the things that I discussed. If you have any of the questions, drop them in the comments. I am so grateful. All praises to the Most High for this journey. I want to inspire anybody that's watching. If you feel led to leave your homeland, leave your hometown, leave your home state, leave your home country, do it. Do it. Because yes, there are some cons to living abroad. Yes, there are some cons. I mean, you're going to have cons when it comes to anything. But you are going to be so happy that you did it because your nervous system is going to thank you. Your nervous system is going to be grateful. Your nervous system is going to benefit from that change of environment. It definitely shifts your entire world. Mentally, I've been in so much peace. I have not had any issues with my mental being in Thailand. I can think. I can strategize. I don't have no pressure. I'm not worried about nothing. I'm not sad. I'm not depressed. I am at fucking peace. And I love this for me. And I want everybody to be able to experience this. So I'm going to drop my tags in the caption. The caption of the video. I'm going to drop my tags so you guys can follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. And obviously follow me on here. But I just gave y'all what it's like for a D girl to take Thailand. All right. So I had to come to Thailand and represent for Detroit, okay, period, the classy way, because we ain't out here doing nothing. One thing I love, and I make sure I do, I'm heavy, big tipper everywhere I go. And yes, I'm bragging about that shit because I love blessing people. And I don't just get them no little 20 baht. You getting 100 to 1,000 baht. I make sure that I bless these people because I am a guest in their home. And I want to make sure that they can continue to live the life that they love and that they desire, you know? And if I can add to that and make their lives any better, I do that. And guess what? When you bless people, they never forget you. Because a lot of these places I go to all the time. And when I come through, when I come in the building, they be showing me so much love because they know the heart that I have. It's reflected. You can feel it. I'm not going to play no games. I love blessing people because I'm blessed. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And I'll be trying to come back with some more videos. We'll see. We'll see. It's all based on y'all. If I can get some engagement, some likes, some shares, some comments, then it's going to inspire me to come back, right? All right. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.